Right then folks, I'm back here, Group 1 in Brighton, and look what I got. This is the new 1300 Auto, the GS Auto, and I've got Brendan here who's going to talk us through it.
Okay, so this is the 2024 GS ASA TE. So what that means is that it is a TE, it's auto. There is no other options for the bike. You can only get the auto in the TE. So that means that you're getting a lot of the BMW bits standard. And obviously the biggest sort of thing is we haven't got a clutch, and we've also got this little guy here. So this is going to be the main control for your auto, as well as the gear shifter, which you can see down there as well. Everything else is exactly the same. So you've got your standard stop and start, your riding modes, your ignition, SOS, keyless ride, all that sort of stuff is standard. The other options that you can get in the 1300, such as your electronic suspension, so you can have the adaptive height control as well as the standard electronic suspension. As it is a TE, you're not able to get non-electronic suspension. So it is only the three options if you do get the sports suspension, which is the tall one as well. You can get it in every single color, so the trophy, the 719, and also the white, and also the black as well. Standard sort of options, so your wheels, all that sort of stuff is exactly the same. Luggage grid, all those options are also available. Electric screen, GPS is standard because it is a TE option.
Right, that's enough of the technical stuff. Let's get on the bike and ride. Let's go. Right then, so first ride of the new GS Auto. So this is in the tarantula colours, the green one. The Essex Chav. Sorry Jamie, my mate Jamie's got one. I always take the piss. Sorry Jamie. Straight away that feels so much firmer than mine. My bike's actually in to have its suspension looked at. I keep reaching for the clutch, there's no clutch. Right, what are the mirrors like? Just bring that out and then push that down, and you always get good vision with BMW mirrors. So you got to pull the brake in, that, and then straight into first. You can see there it's got 1M, which means I'm in first gear manual. There's a little button here, and that switches, if you watch that, that'll go from 1M to D1. So if you put it in D, it's drive auto basically, and the 1 tells you what gear you're in. So obviously if you change the second, third, that'll go D2, D3, etc, etc. Same with the M, that'll tell you where you are. Let's try the full auto to begin with. Plotted myself a little route via Kalimoto. Let's head off. Oof. Well, it's quite a snatchy gear change. I don't know if that was because I hit the speed bump. Probably was. God, it's already in third gear. Oof, that is real clunky. Just changed down to second. Certainly nowhere near as smooth as the Hondas. Right, what's it going to be like slow speed filtering then? Let's have a little looky here. How's it going to cope with that? See if it's going to be a bit snatchy or not. Okay, immediate reactions, nowhere near as smooth and refined as I expected. And why isn't that screen working? It is now. Right, okay, let's make sure we're in the shot right. Yeah, nowhere near as smooth and refined as I was expecting, to be honest. It's really quite clunky at slow speed. This is in full auto mode. Just to give you some sort of idea, the other sort of autos that I've tried the Honda DCT on the Africa Twin and the Goldwing, and I've tried the E-clutch obviously on the 650R or R650R, whatever it was. They were both way smoother, much smoother. E-clutch obviously isn't auto, but you don't need a clutch. I did wonder how the auto would work with this boxer engine, because it is a very clunky engine, this. Yeah, it holds second gear for quite a long time. Well, the Honda DCT just races up through the box. Too quick for me. You have to put it in sort of sport mode with the Honda DCT to try and slow down that gear change a little bit. I will be trying this in the manual mode, but I just want to try the auto to begin with. So I'll do this left. Mixture of roads that I'm going to be trying it on. This 1300 engine is just so punchy, it's lovely. And this one doesn't sound like a bag of nails. My 1300, I mean, it's got 17,000 miles on it now, but it sounds horrendous, really rattly, horrible. So it's in to have that looked at. The wonder wheels not scrolling up and down, so they're going to have a look at that. And something's going on with the suspension, the rear shock. It's not adapting the way it should. Very wallowy and feels like I'm sat on the floor most of the time. Might be connected with why the wonder wheel's not working. We'll find out. So the lovely folks at Group 1 in Brighton, they've given me this, the GS Auto, as a courtesy bike for the next day or two. Can you hear that down change? So that down change was a bit smoother there. Third to second under a bit of drive. Up change second to third, that was quite clunky. Okay. Jesus, it's got the anti-wheelie on it. Front lifted there. Ah, screen. Let's get that screen up. There we go. Thought it was windy. Okay, let's try cruise control. So I set that to, let's whack it up a little bit just to see how this copes. So it's just holding 6th gear for the time being. Okay, ideally I need some congestion here, don't I? Let's see what it's like, how it changes down. So this is the TE spec. Obviously it's spec'd up just like my own bike's got adaptive cruise control. There we go. Okay, so you can feel it. Adaptive cruise control. You can feel it changing gears. It is very clunky, but I mean, this is a boxer engine. I'm not entirely sure if you can get round that clunkiness or not. Okay, we've done a bit at auto. Let's go into manual mode. Okay, so I'm 6th manual. Don't need the clutch. Okay, so I can just stamp down to 4th. Again, pretty clunky. I much prefer being able to feed gears in with the clutch. This just feels like it's being chucked in. This is a lovely firm ride, nothing like my bike. See these people just sit in the outside lane. Move over. You had loads of space to move over there. How many miles has this bike got then? 198. So this is a very new bike. Well, it's not even out of its first service yet. Wow. Oh, someone's got toast on. Haven't had any brekkie. Hanton Marvin. Okay, so that's me at 30. It's holding 3rd gear. That's good. That's where I'd be normally anyway. I like that. I've got to say, see in auto mode, oh, it's just not engaging at all. I should have gone right there, bugger. It's just not engaging at all. Not for me. So let's whack this into manual. Okay. So back into 3rd. Straight away, I'm in 3rd rather than 4th or 5th. I've got a little bit more of a sense of control. Yeah, I can keep the bike nice and dynamic, holding it in 3rd gear, getting those revs up to the sort of 5,000–6,000 mark, where this engine is just beautifully responsive, effortless, plenty of engine braking, can just hold it in 3rd, roll off the throttle, don't need to touch the brakes. Yeah, I could live with this. I could live with like a clutchless system, I think. So much smoother in manual mode. That's a lovely, lovely gear change in manual when you've got the revs up. I'd go as far as to say it feels like a different bike in manual. Much more dynamic. There you go, look, I'm in third gear, manual mode, and if we just apply the brakes, so you can hear it, feel it going down to second, let me come to a complete stop. Changes to first. Right, excuse me, need to phone Mrs. Teapot. Right then, let's get back to this. So, yeah, to put it into neutral, so you have to hold the front brake when you switch the engine on. So I'm in park. That's it in park at the moment. So you do that, turn the ignition, then it will go into neutral. Then you'll be able to move your bike around, say in the garage, something like that. You have to have, can I change into first with the front brake on? No. So you have to have the front brake on to change gear. There we go. Now this is going to be quite a fast start, so let's whack this into auto and just see what it's like for the fast start. I felt the suspension firm up there as well. Okay, so let's get out before this truck. Ooh. Oh, it's horrible. Oh, that gear change is horrible. If you had a pillion, it would break their neck. Ooh. Let's try this again. Auto coming up to a roundabout, so now it's gone into third. I'd want to be in second gear. I don't want to be in third for that. It's nowhere near punchy enough for me. So it's already gone to fourth. No, I can't, I don't like that. I can't live like that. Whack it back in manual. That was lovely and smooth as well. Second to third manual. As long as your revs are sort of looks like at least 3,500, then you're going to get a much smoother gear change, which is understandable. I don't understand why in auto mode it's changing gears so quick, and it's therefore it makes it really clunky. You would think it would hold it a little bit more till the revs went up and then change gear. Maybe there's something I'm missing there. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. This exhaust seems to have quite a nice overrun on it, and it's just the stock exhaust, I think. Or maybe it's the Kropovich. Yeah, it's stock, I think. Ugh. Honestly, it's just horrible. Slow speed stuff, just why would you put it in auto? Don't put it in auto, people. Doesn't even feel like a nice, relaxing, easy ride because it's very clunky gear changing, and I'm constantly thinking, oh god, is it, please down change, I want the engine braking just to give me a little bit of reactivity. Do you know what I mean? I want a reaction from the engine on the throttle. I want it in second, not third or fourth. Right, let's get this in manual. Okay, very tight left coming up. It's going to be a first gear left. Let's whack it into auto, see what it does. So it's a little bit like a... Okay, so it's held second. Alright. I was just waiting to see if it dropped me to first as I applied the throttle. But it didn't. Okay. It's about as close to a Swiss Alpine hairpin as you're going to get here in Kent. I don't think I know of one anywhere. Nationals! Normally I'd like to be in second there just for the engine braking and the performance. That's dropped me to fourth. Wow. Yeah, don't like that. I'd like to be in second coming down, so I've got the engine braking. I can just monitor it all through the throttle. It's already changed to third. See how jolty that is. Makes me ride this bike way more in a way more reserved nature than I would with a traditional manual box, just because I haven't got that increased engine braking and performance capabilities you have by holding it in second, say, and just doing everything off the throttle. I can come up to these tighter corners in second and just roll off the throttle, and the engine braking slows me down, but it also gives me the option to get on the throttle quick and get out of any situation, or just ride in a more dynamic nature. This is not nice. I wouldn't feel comfortable canking on here, and by canking on I only mean like an extra 10 mile an hour or so, but I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that in full auto mode. Having said that, to be fair, I am only in the initial 20-minute, half hour of this ride. Probably done about 30 miles. Done just under 30 miles at the moment. Yeah, as with any auto, you're having to use the brakes a lot more. I hate that in the wife's car. Hers is an auto. Whilst it's a much more relaxed drive, unless you use the TeapotOne box, you're having to use the brakes a lot more, which is why you see people on motorways constantly dabbing their brakes. It's probably because they're in an automatic and they're not using the TeapotOne to moderate speed. Right, let's get this into manual. Right, there we go. This is me into manual. So you'll see what I mean by holding it in second. So I'm staying in second here. So I've got much more of a push. But then when I come up to a corner, see how you've got much heavier engine braking. Then I can just moderate things how I want them. Straight away, it feels a much more dynamic machine in manual. Much more enjoyable. Come on, bunny rabbit or squirrel. Yeah, there's a squirrel. Bunny rabbit, good God. Watch the ostrich. Yeah, I can tolerate this in manual mode, definitely. Let's have some fun on some proper nationals. Come on. This is a 40. Sorry, creeping up there, saw the 50, got a bit excited. 50! There they are. Drop down to 4th. So that's 60 already. Okay, so I would just hold 4th. Just makes the bike a lot more dynamic. Junction's all clear. That's fine. Vision's good. Big straight up ahead, like that into 6th now, no problems. Coming up again, let's drop it down to 5th. Vision's good, liking that. Option on the right, what are we doing there? That looks like that's tightening up a bit. I'll drop that to 4th just to give me the option of the engine braking. All good there, load of vision, like that back up to 6th. Okay. So more flowing road, let's whack this into auto now. So auto in 6th. Oh, crept up a bit, let's drop it back down, 60. Oh, these tyres are noisy, so I'm going to take this right up here. Go to 30. Okay, so that held second gear in auto. Up to 3rd already. Nationals, check the mirrors, got the vision. Firm up the ride. Firm up the drive. Lots of keek on the roads. Summit. I need to put some fuel in the bike. That's in 5th. Come on, change. Stayed in 5th. No, I'd want that. I'd want a much more dynamic box than this. Very lazy, very pedestrian box. races up through the gears, doesn't change down as quick as I'd like personally. I'd like that option of a sportier auto. Right, this is where I need to butt in. Apparently, with this new ASA box, it actually learns how you ride. So when you jump on the bike and you start riding, when the automatic, if it goes up or down a gear and you don't like that, you can override it obviously with the gear selector and change up or down accordingly. Apparently the bike learns how you ride over time, and it will adjust the auto sort of calibration as to when it goes up and down through the box accordingly. So in the interest of fairness, I am going to be taking out the new GSA, the 1300 GSA, with an ASA box in it. And I'm going to be doing quite a big ride on that very soon. And I'm going to put this to the test. So keep your eye out for that on the channel. Now, let's go back to Victor Meldrew on his bike. I think a steroided gorilla who's just been smashed in the danglies would have more finesse than this gearbox does at low revs. Higher revs, it's alright, it's not bad. It can be actually really quite smooth. Oh. Low revs, no. Maybe I'm being too nickety. What do you think? What do you think on this? Have you ridden one of these? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Like, engagement through the comments is fantastic for the algorithm, folks. It really does help, because it makes YouTube think, oh, people are actually interacting with this vid, therefore it must be good, so they'll punt it out to other people that they think it might appeal to. Same as sharing. If you start sharing vids, it just makes YouTube sort of sit up and take notice and go, all right, well, people are sharing this, they're commenting on it, they're watching it, or they're watching more than one vid from this channel, so it starts punting the vids out to a lot more people, testing different audiences, and that's how you grow. So it'd be much appreciated if you do that. Comment, like, share, obviously subscribe if you've not already, although why wouldn't you be? So let's just do this. So we're braking 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, funeral cortege, 2nd, 1st. There we go, let's give them a bit of space. Lovely smooth change that. A change there whilst I was leant over, just to see how that would affect stability. Well, I'm liking that. Look, on Bemoto on the display, I have a via point set in somewhere where I want to go and do piece to camera. Now it tells you in 6 miles you're going to get to that marker. Never used to do that. Certainly doesn't do that on Apple CarPlay mode, so I hope that happens soon. But that's good. They're constantly changing things on Cali. There's developments all the time. So if you've tried it before and didn't like it, have another shot. Obviously I can give you a month free trial of the premium functions, or 20% off your annual membership. Just DM me on any of the socials, on Instagram or Facebook, preferably Instagram, because Facebook's just a nightmare to monitor, or drop me an email, info@teapotone.com, and I'll send you a code. Right, helmet cam, cockpit cam, drone, sync 'em up, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's get that up in the air. So we want to be up there. Right, let's try the slow speed control on this thing, see what it's like. Gosh, so much higher than my bike. There we go, tank reserve, yeah, I know, manual, let's put it in auto. Okay, so what about pulling away in full lock turn? How's that? Wait, that's really quite, that feels really quite So we're just staying in first gear. Let's just do full lock turns. Alright, come on, do a lock turn. I'm not even in full lock. That is my ability and not the bike's, so it's just holding first gear. That's not a problem. What's first gear? What's figure of eights like? Yeah, it's just holding first, no problem there. I'm just waiting for it to chuck up into second, but it's not. That's all good. Seems alright. In fact, it's not even full lock, but very slow speed. Sticking in first in auto, which is all I wanted to check, so that will do me. Okay, so what are my thoughts on the BMW auto? Oh, blimey. Full auto I don't like. It races up through the box too quick. The gear changing is clunky at best. Very occasionally you seem to get quite a nice silky smooth one. Oh, slow down, it's only at 40. But the vast majority are very clunky. Not my cup of tea, just not my cup of tea. I don't find the 1300 particularly engaging now that I'm used to the performance of the engine. Like the sound of the engine's pretty horrific, to be honest. It rattles away like a good one. This one's a lot better than mine, must say. But engagement levels with the 1300GS, they're not even the 1250 level, I think, once you get used to the engine. You know, initially it's a novelty factor, it's crazy, it's incredibly fast and powerful, this engine. But once you're used to that, I really wish it had a fruitier engine note to it. These Euro 16 compliant cats and whatever they've done in the headers is horrible. Strangles the bike. So taking away the joy of a manual box, this is just not for me. It might be for some people, but just not for me. Putting it into manual mode, much better. Given the choice, I'd still have full manual with a clutch, but if I had to, I absolutely had to, then I would take the auto in manual mode if there was no other option. I mean, if any of the other adventure bikes had a traditional box with a clutch, I would take that before I took any version of the auto on this, to be perfectly honest. It's not even a particularly good auto box. The Honda one is way smoother. Even DCT is smoother. At least with DCT you can put it in sport. That's something I'd love BMW to give this, like a dynamic mode in the auto box, or the ability to customize it in some sense. As it is, it's a big no from me. Not a fan. Definitely get the traditional one with a clutch. Sorry to be negative, folks, but you know me, I'll say it exactly how I see it. If you like the auto box, sounds like a transformer, doesn't it? If you like the auto on the BMWs, on the GSs, you tried it, let me know your thoughts. Love to hear them. Big shout out and a massive thanks to Group 1 in Brighton for looking after me as always and letting me take out their bikes from their range. Whilst we're on that, folks, if there are any BMWs that you would like me to take out, let me know in the comments. Drop me a line on Insta or Facebook, or email me, info@teapotone.com. Let me know and I'll do what I can to oblige. Right, folks, keep doing your thing. Look after those that you love. Get on out there whenever you can, but most importantly, live your life. Woo-ha!